Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Does it look like we're in a different place? Well, believe it or not, I'm in the Auto Mall in Shreveport, Louisiana at Land Rover of Shreveport. And I'd like to thank my friends here at the dealership for loaning me this 2019 Land Rover Discovery. This is the Trek Edition. They actually did a special competition with it, and we're going to talk more about that later in the video. And so it may look like maybe I'm in the Rocky Mountains or something like that. Well, probably not if you can see what's over the other side of the Land Rover here. It's an Enterprise rent-a-car place, but as you can see, I actually drove it onto the track myself, and I have to say, that grade coming over this incline right here was definitely a lot steeper inside than it looks from the outside, at least for me. I'm used to really fast, low to the ground, high performance cars. So this is a different world for me. So if you like what you see here, here's something interesting. This 2019 Discovery is still for sale here at Land Rover of Shreveport. So if you go down to the description of this video, the very first link you're going to see is going to be the link to the page that tells you all about this particular Land Rover. If you don't see that link, that means it has been sold. If you do see the link, you could own this. Just trying to help my friends out here at the dealership. So we're going to talk a little bit about the 2019 model. We're not going to do our typical in-depth tour because I've got a friend who's going to drive it around on the track and kind of show us what it's really capable of, because like I said, that's definitely not my forte, but it is his. And so we are going to do a full in-depth tour of a Land Rover Discovery here in the near future, a 2020 model, but we will talk a little bit about this one right now. If you are wondering about the overall look and setup of this Land Rover Discovery, it was outfitted to compete in the Land Rover Trek off-road competition. The event in which the Discovery featured in today's video was held on the property of the Biltmore Estate located in Asheville, North Carolina. The competition included a series of qualifying trials using identically customized Discovery models from multiple dealerships across the country, just like the one featured in our video today. Later in the video, we will show what the Discovery can do on the track located at Land Rover of Shreveport. So obviously, there are some things you can look at on the exterior of the Discovery and say, yeah, it definitely is set apart. Definitely the vinyl graphics on the side, all the lettering, all that stuff. And of course, the lights, the spare tire, and all the equipment and special gear on the roof, I should say, to help during the competition if they got stuck or whatever the situation may be. Of course, there's a full-size spare up there. That's definitely nice. And it's even identical to these, the rim, everything. But here's one of the things that really sets this particular model apart. During the year 2019, there was only 55 of these produced. And this is number 19 of those 55. As you can see on your screen right now, there is a plate in the exterior of this Land Rover that actually gives that distinction and that information. Again, something that really sets this apart. It might be something really good to add to your collection if you're looking for something that's just not something that everybody else in your neighborhood is going to own. So obviously, with the immense and amazing off-road capabilities of this Discovery, there must be a lot of horsepower under the hood. And that's true, there is. 340 to be exact out of the supercharged 3-liter 6-cylinder. That's mated it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It gets 16 miles per gallon in the city and 21 miles per gallon out on the highway. So obviously on this beautiful sunny day here in northwest Louisiana, where the temperature is in the mid-70s on the last day of February, it's going to be hard to really do much with showing you the capabilities of these lights on the Discovery track, but I took care of that. My friends here at the dealership let me take this home with me yesterday, and so I went over to my buddy Ronnie's house. You've seen his little dirt track. It's a little go-kart dirt track that he has, and he let me run this around there a few times, and I took some different shots after dark so that you could see what these lights look like, not only from the outside but also from the inside. And to say that they light things up very well is an understatement. if you're looking for something that's going to give you plenty of light when you're out in the middle of nowhere and it's pitch black, well, you can completely change that. You could light up an entire football field with the lights that are on this Discovery. And I like the fact that it really sets it apart. Of course, one of the most interesting things, and I wish I had had the camera with me, when I was cruising around town with it yesterday afternoon and this morning, everybody kept slowing down around me. Tell me in the comments if you know why that is. Now, like I said, guys, I'm not going to go into a lot of the details about the features and amenities, but there are a couple of things that really stand out. Just make sure you subscribe to my channel here so you see the upcoming video on the 2020 model of the Discovery, where we will talk about all the features and amenities and just everything that you would want to know. But there are a couple of things that really make this vehicle stand out to me when I learned about it as I opened the rear lift gate. And there are a couple of switches on the left-hand side of the interior when you open the lift gate, but there's also something else that happens that I think is super helpful, and it's called a split tailgate, and you see that on your screen in action. That is a really neat feature, and it's also really strong because I actually pushed down on it and realized, I don't know what its capacities are. If I can find that, I will put that on the screen for you, but I was actually able to climb up on top of that and into the interior to get one of the shots that I've shown you here on your screen of how that split tailgate works. But I really like that feature because you can raise that up and you can lower it, and it helps to keep things in place back there. Now, if you walk up to the rear of the Discovery and you say, man, I can't hardly get in there, that's what those other two buttons are for right there next to the button for the split tailgate. That actually controls the height of the rear of the Discovery. And so you can actually lower that down by holding the button that is to the left, or closest to the rear, we'll say. You've got the one on your left and one on your right. The one on your left lowers the rear end down. It lowers the suspension down, lets the air out of it, and makes it much easier to gain access to the cargo area back here. And when you're finished with that, you just push the other button, you hold that down, it re-airs everything back up for you. What an awesome feature, and I like the fact that it was probably a little bit easier to see it here at the angle that it's sitting than it might have been otherwise. I don't know, it might not make a difference, but thought it was kind of a unique perspective having it positioned here on the track as it is right now. And obviously you have a lot of cargo space, but it is a little bit different back here because this is the Trek Edition. And as you can see, it has the cage back here behind the rear seats and a fire extinguisher, a first aid kit, everything that you could need when you're out on the terrain, whatever you may go out on, off in the woods, out in the mountains, whatever the case may be. This Discovery is definitely equipped for those adventures, and probably more than you could imagine. Okay guys, it's time for what I think will be the best part of the video. This is my friend Shashi. He works here at the dealership at Land Rover of Shreveport, and he is a 3-time earner of the Mark of Distinction. In short, if you don't know, that means he is at the absolute top of his game. And when we hop into the Land Rover here in just a second and go over the track, you're gonna understand why I say that. Listen guys, don't tell me that he's going to take my place, but he is that good. So let's hop into the Discovery track and see how it goes.
Well, we're about to go over the off-road track in the full-size Discovery. Because we're going to go on the rock track, we want our car to actually be proactive and look for certain kinds of terrain. So I've already placed the car in our rock crawl mode. When you do that, it knows that, hey, you need power. Not power for speed, but necessarily power for going over abnormal terrain. So what we've done is we have the car in the low differential, and the reason is because you'd want to put power toward all those wheels appropriately. So I just want to let you know that whenever we do this, what we'll do, we have it in neutral, and that's the time that we place it into the low diff, as they say. So this car has a center and rear differential, and because I've got it in rock crawl mode, it knows that we're about to go over difficult terrain. That differential's already locked, so it's being proactive about what we're about to do. And anytime that we're in off-road mode, the rock crawl, we've got the off-road height already raised up. We've got the low diff engaged, and hill descent control is engaged. Land Rover actually invented that technology, so you're going to see some of that used here today. It's incredibly smooth, super easy to employ. Just want to let you know also that any of these features that you see that I've engaged for the driver, they're all engaged here as well, so it shows you. So you always know that before you enter into a situation, whether it's rocks, snow, ice, mud, sand, all of that's going to let you know that you've engaged the appropriate settings. We're ready to do this, so let's go ahead and put this in drive, and let's check this out. So one of the beautiful things about Land Rovers is they've got great turning ability. You'll see the turning radius is just really sharp, so we're in a little bit of a crowded area today. It's great for off-road, or maybe when you're in a grocery store and the parking is just super tight. We've got full sensors all the way around the car. Now, one of the things I want you to notice, as soon as I went over that curb, the center differential engaged completely. So the beautiful thing are differentials, they can fractionally lock or they can fully lock. And the beautiful thing is that gives you a lot of control. Now you can see we're about to approach our angle here. You notice that our front ends and back ends are really short, so we don't have to worry about scraping. Don't want to scare you, so I'm taking it really nice and easy. You can see this angle here is really nothing for the car. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do, our hill descent control, I'm going to stop the car here, push the brake in, and let go, and it'll be held for just a few seconds. And again, if I just tap the brake, it'll hold us again, so it's effortless. Let me go ahead and raise the car up, and we'll take it to the top position. Now it actually looks like you're off-road doing something. So coming down for hill descent control to engage, what you need to do is just point the car. Once it actually is at roughly just over about 15 to 19 degrees, you have a gyroscope in here, so it knows that you're at a unique angle that the brakes itself need to engage. So you really don't have to do any braking at all. You don't have to ride those brakes. Matter of fact, I've got a little thing here on the speedometer in the green area. So what I've done is I've reduced the speed at which we're going to take our speed down this hill. So yeah, I'm just going to guide it. I'm going to let off the brakes, let it do its own braking, and I'm going to hit the brakes now. You can see just how calm and cool that was. It didn't run away from us. This is great for people who go up into Colorado, the Rocky Mountains, and you can see that angle. So again, I just wanted you to see that this is really something that most people don't even know a Land Rover has. Other cars may have this technology, but they don't apply it properly. But I just wanted you to see how calm and smooth that was. I'm going to take us back to our off-road height. So the next thing we're going to do is we want to come out of this really weird steep angle and balance on these two mounds. When we do that, it's going to push two of our axles, two of the wheels all the way into the body. You're not going to twist the frame. You're not going to hurt the axles at all. We have an incredible amount of rigidity. Our bodies of the Land Rover are made with aerospace grade technology. They're bonded and riveted. We have used an aluminum alloy that can withstand that kind of stress. I love it when we do the teeter-totter because it shows that I'm just beautifully balanced on here. Now with that said, most cars, the two wheels that aren't touching ground would spin out. Not our cars. They know where to put the power. So again, you can see the differentials are engaged. So people ask, well, how do I use this in my day-to-day driving? We want you to know that if you jerk the wheel, if you take a quick turn, our differentials know where to put the power. So any wheel that doesn't have traction, it won't spin out. They'll make a quarter turn and they'll stop spinning. And our electronic differential will actually push the power to the wheels that have traction. So I just want to actually show you. I'm going to put it in reverse, and I just want to balance just perfectly on this, and you can see we're tipping. When we did that, the car didn't throw us. It was just really nice and smooth. The other wheels that were not touching the ground, they didn't move at all. And again, you would have felt that. So it's just a really calm, what I would call civilized movement. So again, we're going to come off of this. And you can see this is a really weird angle. We're about to take a really steep turn here, and we're going to look. So one of the things people ask is about rollover, and we want you to know that we're thinking about, what if you were on the side of a mountain? Would you roll over? We are the masters of weight distribution. You can see here, matter of fact, I'll even show you. So we're about 23 degrees, so this is nothing. We can sit here all day The car can handle it beautifully. There's no stress to the car. Matter of fact, I've done this in the rain, sleet, snow, ice. There is no bad weather for a Land Rover. We can handle this beautifully. But again, because we are such masters of weight distribution, this is what makes our cars so smooth off-road and on-road. And also too, when we're coming off of this steep hill, the brakes, they're engaged, part of the hill descent control, so it knows, hey, I'm at a weird angle, it's assisting me, so I don't have to ride the brakes. Just a really nice, controlled, civilized ride. And again, you can see our steering and wheel articulation, just great steering radius. Okay, so as we approach the mounds, you'll see that they're asymmetrically located. So they're spaced apart like that because once we get on top, we're going to see that two wheels, one in the front, one in the back, are actually pushed all the way into the wheel well. And you'll see that, again, you have two other wheels, one in the front, one in the back, that are hanging down. And when we get up there, we're creating maximum torsion on the structure. So that rigidity can handle that. We can open our doors with no problem, whereas anyone else, you would actually twist the frame. When you have that level of torsion, the only way to handle that kind of stress is because we use a special aluminum alloy body, just like you do in a plane. It's 5 times stronger than steel. What we do in this case, we want you to see that this also gives you control. And that's the great thing, is it translates into on-road driving. So this car doesn't excessively roll. It's got great structural rigidity that translates into smoothness. People talk about the suspension, but we want you to know this is one of the safest cars on the planet. Also too, when it comes to the traction, you'll notice that when the car moves off of the mounds, you'll see that the wheels that don't have any contact with the ground, they're not spinning. Our electronic differential knows where to put the power or the torque. So our cars, we have adaptive dynamics. They can monitor the traction at 1/4 of a mile an hour. In other cars, performance cars, they start to monitor at 4 miles an hour. So you can see the incredible amount of detail and the incredible amount of experience that Land Rover has, so that everything is a non-issue. So smooth, so capable, it's world class.
Okay guys, that's it for today's video. It was a little bit different, but it was most certainly a lot of fun. Tell me if you enjoy these kind of videos and if you want to see more things like this. I don't know how much more of this I can pull off locally, but I'll see what I can do. But I want to say I appreciate my friends here at Land Rover of Shreveport and Shashi for taking the time out of his day to help make this a superb video. He just took it to a whole nother level with his level of knowledge. And of course, I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to watch. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like button. That helps in so many ways. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel just yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I appreciate your support and your time, and I will see you next time on Vehicle Visionary.